In late 1992, Los Angeles was a city haunted by violent crime, corruption scandals, and an atmosphere of fear. Against this backdrop, the mysterious disappearance and grisly discovery of Cheryle Gossett stands out as one of the most disturbing cases of that year. Cheryle was a 48-year-old African-American woman who lived in southwest Los Angeles with her adult sons. Friends and relatives described her as quiet, private, and devoted to her family. She had recently lost her job and spent much of her time looking after her elderly mother. On the morning of November 28, 1992, Cheryle left her home around 10 a.m. in her burgundy 1973 Toyota Celica, planning to run errands before visiting her mother. She was never seen alive again. Days later, the first horrifying clue surfaced. On December 7th, a human arm washed up on the sand in Venice Beach. 3.5 hours later, another arm was discovered near a boat slip in Marina del Rey, just minutes away. Because the remains appeared in two different jurisdictions, both the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department began separate investigations. Eventually, LAPD's Elite Major Crimes Unit took over. The arms were in relatively fresh condition, and investigators were able to lift fingerprints. Through this, they confirmed the victim's identity: Cheryle Gossett. Detectives now knew who she was, but little else. There was no body, no crime scene, no witnesses, and no clear cause of death. This created a nightmare for investigators. Normally, homicide detectives rely on the body for critical information: signs of struggle, cause of death, and an estimated time of death. But in Cheryle's case, only her arms had been recovered. Detectives could not determine whether she had drowned, been stabbed, strangled, or killed in some other way. They couldn't even say how the arms ended up in the ocean. Some theorized they may have drifted from the Ballona Creek storm channel after heavy rains. Others suspected they had been deliberately dumped at sea. The case soon drew chilling comparisons to Los Angeles's most infamous murder, the 1947 Black Dahlia killing, in which Elizabeth Short's mutilated body was found in an empty lot. Both cases involved dismemberment, mystery, and a haunting lack of answers. For investigators like Lieutenant John Zorn of Major Crimes, this was more than just another file. He told reporters at the time, "This is such a tough case because there's so much we don't know. We need a break, like that one golden phone call from someone who knows." But that golden call never came. By late December, the LAPD and Coast Guard called off active searches for Cheryle's body. The missing Toyota Celica was placed on law enforcement bulletins statewide, but it was never found. Detectives interviewed family, neighbors, and acquaintances, but no suspect or motive emerged. What made the case especially tragic was the silence that followed. After a handful of brief news reports in December 1992, Cheryle Gossett's name disappeared from headlines. Unlike high-profile victims, her case received little attention, overshadowed by the city's rising tide of homicides in the early 1990s. The coroner's office admitted frustration. Without a full body, they could not declare an official cause of death. This left Cheryle's family without closure and detectives without the evidence needed to push the case forward. To this day, no arrests have ever been made. No one has come forward with credible information. And all that remains in the record are the two arms that washed ashore, a grieving family, and a file buried deep within LAPD's cold case archives. The story of Cheryle Gossett is a reminder of how some victims vanish not only from life, but also from memory. Her case highlights the challenges of forensic investigation, the flaws of jurisdictional boundaries, and the painful reality that not all mysteries are solved. Somewhere in Los Angeles, someone knows what happened in the winter of 1992. But unless that golden phone call ever comes, Cheryle's story remains one of the city's most haunting unsolved crimes.